Ozarks First News at 10.
Dramatic video from Nevada during Wednesday morning's storm. You can see pea-sized hail being launched sideways by strong winds as an EF1 tornado moved through that area. Today, Nevada City Manager Gary Edwards says cleanup efforts are moving rapidly. Right after the storm, more than 5,000 people were left without power. This morning, that number dropped below 400. Edwards says many organizations have arrived in town to help. That includes the American Red Cross, which has set up a temporary shelter at the Nevada Community Center.
By noon, we were almost overwhelmed by all of the people and organizations who offered help. We have pages of volunteers who want to help, and we'll be taking them up on that.
Volunteers who'd like to help are asked to check into the Vernon County Fairgrounds. That's where donations are also being accepted. With parts of our viewing area expected to see much more rainfall through the weekend, flooding is on the mind of first responders in the Ozarks. Accordingly, water rescue crews are preparing for emergency calls. Ozarks First Jared Henry is live at the Logan-Rogersville Fire District Station 2 in Springfield, detailing how the crews are preparing.
I'm told that crews get together once a month for training. A representative with the Logan-Rogersville Fire District explained to me that this training and preparation helps keep them safe on the job.
Firefighting is inherently dangerous. Swift water, again, is even about 400 times more dangerous than even firefighting.
Rain pouring down on the Ozarks this week. Ozarks First meteorologist predicts Springfield could see an additional 3 inches of rainfall by the end of Sunday, and southeastern parts of the state could see another half of a foot.
We've been watching it since early Monday. Was when we started looking at resources and started gathering resources from the region.
Deputy Chief Travis Trent has been with the Logan-Rogersville Fire District for decades. He says his crews watch for rivers swelling out of their banks and low water crossings becoming impassable.
The current, you may not see the current, and it could swift your car off the roadway. You could be in the river before you know it.
With higher amounts of rainfall predicted to the southeast, the Missouri State Emergency Management Agency has Logan-Rogersville Fire on standby in case help is needed. Trent says he spent the day getting their gear ready.
Most of that equipment that you're looking at is rope equipment, other flotation devices, life jackets to put on individuals that we pick out off of cars, out of houses, off the river.
The Missouri State Highway Patrol says it only takes 12 inches of swift-moving water to sweep away a vehicle. Trent says it's best to not drive over moving water, but if you do find yourself in that situation, there are ways you can prepare for the worst.
So if you have some type of window punch, hammer, just some way to be able to get out of the car, get on the roof. We don't advise to get out in the water, but stay on your roof and let us come get you.
Trent says that if they are called out to the southeast, they will stay there for around 3 days, helping where they can. Reporting live in Springfield, I'm Jared Henry, Ozarks First.
We have referenced the rain that's coming. That will be on top of what has already fallen. And Chief Meteorologist Jamie Warner says there are some significant totals from today. Jamie?
Already, yes. We've already topped 1 inch in Springfield. Areas to the north of the interstate, many spots have seen over 2 inches of rainfall. Meanwhile, areas further south from Harrison to West Plains and south have picked up also over 2 inches in many places. Mountain Home officially 2 3/4. And we're just getting started. A flood watch remains in effect for areas along and south of I-44, where that risk of flooding is highest as we work through the next few days. We've got some spotty showers out there right now and a few isolated thunderstorms. One right there moving into Howell County. Another one had some lightning with it there, now moving into Shannon County. I think everything that we see throughout the overnight will be relatively light, but I do expect a big wave of rain and thunder to be making its way into the area in time for that morning drive into work. 47 currently. Temperatures won't move much overnight tonight. Tomorrow, I don't expect them to rise much. Not here in Springfield. Again, expecting a big wave of rain and thunder in the morning with additional waves of showers and thunderstorms throughout the day into the night Friday night, and a risk of severe weather also unfolding, I think, for areas especially to the southeast. More on that coming up. Steve?
Some Ozark school districts are closing Friday in anticipation of flooding. It includes West Plains and Dora. The Bakersfield School District will be in session, but is giving families the option to stay home after the community continues to recover from an EF3 tornado that hit on March 14th. You can find a full list of school closures on our website, ozarksfirst.com. An Aurora woman accused of gunning down her estranged husband, as well as the father of her child and his girlfriend, has pleaded guilty to multiple charges. In a Lawrence County Circuit Court today, Taylor Santiago pled guilty to robbery, unlawful use of a weapon, murder, and endangering the welfare of a child. She arrived at the Aurora Police Department on January 23rd and told officers she killed her husband, Troy Huffman. When they arrived at the apartment, they found Huffman dead. Santiago also told police she had driven to Arkansas and shot 2 more people, including the biological father of one of her children. Arkansas police say the male victim there was taken to a hospital in serious condition. The female did not survive. Santiago is going to be sentenced for murder on June 10th. One person is in custody after an overnight shooting in Springfield. SPD says 2 people were shot near Kearney and National and taken to a hospital with non-life-threatening injuries. Police identified Dakota Nation as a suspect and later arrested him in his home. He's charged with assault. We'll keep you updated as we learn more on our website, ozarksfirst.com. I'm going to take a live look now in New York City as Thursday comes to a close. It is just past 11 there, following a very volatile day on Wall Street. Stock markets plunged dramatically in response to the president's deep global tariffs. The Dow Jones lost 1,679 points, the 4th largest single-day points drop in its history. The NASDAQ lost almost 6% of total value today, its biggest decline since March of 2020. The S&P 500 losing nearly 5%, finishing off the trading day with its biggest one-day loss since 2020. The president defended his tariffs today before heading to Florida to host a golf tournament. Several world leaders are calling for negotiations, while others are vowing retaliation. But the Trump administration continues to defend the major policy shift. Maddie Beertemple reports.
The White House says these are short-term pains to fix a national emergency. They say that emergency is a $1.2 trillion trade deficit. Stocks plummeted the day after President Trump slapped tariffs across the globe.
Stock markets are reacting in a horrible way for working families.
President Trump said he isn't worried.
The markets are going to boom, the stock is going to boom, the country is going to boom.
But Kentucky Republican Senator Rand Paul says Americans watching their retirement accounts fall aren't a fan.
There are millions of people who are concerned about preserving their nest egg, preserving their wealth that they've worked their whole life for.
The Trump administration put a 10% baseline tariff on countries across the globe, with higher tariffs on countries the president says have the largest trade deficits with the U.S.
For many years, we've been at the wrong side of the ball.
Agriculture Secretary Brooke Rollins says they put America first and will be worth it in the long run.
This will be a short time of uncertainty, and then we'll move back to the prosperity.
Most Republicans on Capitol Hill back the president, like North Carolina Congressman Tim Moore.
This is very early on. There's no time for any kind of tariff to impact really anyone right now.
The 10% tariffs are slated to start Saturday, while the reciprocal ones are expected to start next week. In Washington, I'm Maddie Beertemple.
And on Capitol Hill, there is a bipartisan effort to rein in President Trump's tariffs. Senators Chuck Grassley and Maria Cantwell have introduced a bill requiring Trump to explain the reason and impacts of any new tariff to Congress within 48 hours of going into effect.
Over the long term, I don't think this is a big deal stock-wise, but for the next 6 months or a year, it's going to look ugly.
The legislation also calls for new tariffs to expire after 60 days unless Congress explicitly approves them. Here in the Ozarks, a local economics professor you just heard from shares his insight on the reactions to the newly implemented tariffs. Dr. David Mitchell, an economics professor at Missouri State, believes representatives of nations should sit down and discuss ways to remove barriers instead of putting up additional barriers. He also acknowledges the anxiousness of the stock market.
Over the long term, I don't think this is a big deal stock-wise, but for the next 6 months or a year, it's going to look ugly.
Dr. Mitchell says it's not unreasonable to start using the word recession. When consumers expect higher prices, that's usually when they come.
Other companies who might not even be impacted by the tariffs might say, here's an opportunity for us to raise prices, and we can blame it on the tariffs. So even countries that don't have anything to do with the tariffs, I could see companies that produce whatever product it is, you can see higher prices for them as well too. So I think a recession probability has gone way, way up.
Still ahead at 10, the deadline to file taxes less than 2 weeks away, why experts say you should file even if you can't pay all that you owe.
And we've talked about flooding concerns, but it looks like it could also be another big severe weather day for parts of the region on Friday. More on that coming up.
Ozarks First Investigates is committed to bringing people answers, holding the powerful accountable, solving problems, and empowering people to fight for what's right. If you have a story you'd like us to look into, call our tip line at 417-295-TIPS or send us an email to investigates@ozarksfirst.com.
This is Ozarks First News at 10 with Steve Savard, Chief Meteorologist Jamie Warriner, and Sports with Dan Lucy.
Well, right now we're in our lull. We had a big wave of rain and thunder move through during the day today. Since then, the rain is tapered off. It's not over with, but it's a lot more spotty and light in nature, with the exception of a few isolated thunderstorms that you'll see every once in a while, especially across areas south of I-44. Looking at the big picture, you can see we've got rain and thunder that continues, though, from the Ohio Valley back through Arkansas, getting a little bit of a lull there as well in regard to severe weather. I think that will come to an end as we get into Friday morning. Our front that swept through yesterday has stalled well to our south this evening across southern Arkansas and northern Mississippi. We're on the better side of that front if you want to keep severe weather away. We're on the cooler, more stable side. We're still getting showers and thunderstorms, but those thunderstorms are what we call elevated. The worst that we're going to get out of them is maybe some hail. And so far, anything that we've had today has been small in nature. But it looks like as we get into Friday, that front will try to lift back to the north. Now, I think with these waves of thunderstorms and rain overspreading our area, starting tomorrow morning especially, that's going to cause some resistance. It's going to be harder for that front to lift to the north. But it is still going to try to lift north, at least into northern Arkansas. And where it winds up by the afternoon hours is very key to where severe weather is going to be in relation to our area. It looks like we will get severe weather here in areas like Little Rock, over toward Fort Smith, and southwest across the Texarkana area. A moderate risk has already been placed for that area from the Storm Prediction Center. I think for us, though, here in northern Arkansas and southern Missouri, the risk is more iffy, especially north of the state line. At this point, I think the front may be able to make it up to around the state line. So I think areas from, say, Harrison up to Gainesville, West Plains, Alton, that's probably going to be the northern line of where we're going to have a tornado risk. But areas near and south of that front, there will be a tornado risk tomorrow afternoon into tomorrow night. Also near that front, especially near and just on the north side of that front, that's where thunderstorms are likely going to train and focus, and I think that's where we're going to have our highest flash flooding threat. Looking at our hour-by-hour forecast for tonight, spotty showers, light for the most part, will continue as we get to sunrise tomorrow. Rain is coming in from the southwest, and a big wave of rain and thunder likely to impact the morning drive into work and school. And then we'll continue to see additional waves of showers and thunderstorms throughout the remainder of the day. That's 5 o'clock tomorrow afternoon. As we work through tomorrow evening, more scattered showers and thunderstorms pushing through the area. I think there may be another break in the action after midnight Saturday night, but another wave of rain and thunder expected to move in by Saturday morning, overspreading the area and pushing through during the day on Saturday. I don't expect severe weather on Saturday. It will be a chilly, wet day. Rainfall totals north of the interstate could pick up another 1 to as much as 3 inches here along the interstate. Meanwhile, areas to the south of the interstate, generally speaking, I think we're going to see 3 to 6 additional inches of rainfall, with areas closer to that front most likely to see those 6-inch totals. and possibly even more than 6 inches. I think there's going to be that risk of localized pockets in there that could see in excess of 7 inches. Temperatures holding steady tonight. Tomorrow, they won't warm all that much here north of the interstate, but areas closer to and south of the front, they could get up to upper 60s near 70. In fact, near 70 in Mountain Home. On Saturday, I think everybody's looking at a chilly day. Highs in the 40s to around 50 degrees. And then on Sunday, there could be some rain and snow mixed to start the day. If we can get into some afternoon sunshine, which is what I expect at this stage, we should see afternoon highs in the upper 40s to near 50 degrees. And as we get back to work next week, well, we get back to winter-like temperatures, at least for the morning hours, with freezes likely Monday morning and Tuesday morning. Highs near 60 both of those days, warming up a bit as we work through midweek.
You didn't say the S word, did you, in this time?
I did.
You said wet snow?
I said soggy, I said sloppy, and yes,
no,
I did
you
say
said
snow.
I know it's soggy and sloppy, but I don't want snow. It's not going to accumulate.
Yeah, no accumulations expected, but you know, it's one of the last things you want to see in the month of April, right?
One of the last things I wanted to hear tonight.
Yeah.
An important reminder tonight, tax day is approaching. Tuesday, April 15th is the deadline to file your federal income tax return and pay the full amount you owe to avoid late charges. Here's some advice, though, from the IRS. If you're unable to pay your balance in full, the agency says go ahead and file and pay as much as you can by the deadline. That will protect you from the late filing penalty and help reduce the amount of interest and late payment penalties you'll incur after the deadline. All right, now to our question of the day. We want to know if you have filed your taxes yet, with the deadline coming up on the 15th. At this point, 60% that have answered say yes. If you'd still like to answer this and weigh in, you can scan the QR code on your screen with your phone or head to our website, ozarksfirst.com/vote. We'll give you the results a little bit later in the newscast. April is Autism Awareness Month, and the Arc of the Ozarks is hosting an in-person conference with Dr. Temple Grandin. Dr. Grandin will speak on April 29th at the White River Conference Center. She's one of the first people on the autism spectrum to share insights from her personal experiences. She'll talk about the importance of early intervention, inclusion in the classroom, and strategies to support individuals on the spectrum. Registration is required to attend. April is also Child Abuse Prevention Month, and the Child Advocacy Center is sponsoring Paint the Town Blue. It's their initiative. Blue ribbons, clothing, and pinwheels are all symbols of child abuse awareness. Several local restaurants are offering specials to help raise awareness. The West Plains location of the CAC will host a balloon glow and fireworks show later this month. You can find a full list of businesses working with the center and details on how to donate, again, on our website, ozarksfirst.com. Still ahead, the bird flu still spreading, what the Dickerson Park Zoo is doing to keep its birds safe. And a new training complex is coming to Greene County. We have Sheriff Jim Arnott's thoughts as work on the Jim C. Arnott Training Complex continues.
Join us Friday on Daybreak. Heavy rain forecast over the next few days creates flood concerns for parts of the Ozarks. We'll have timing and totals for what is expected to be a washout to end the week.
And then over on Unscripted, our good friend Amanda is back to whip up something delicious from the First Watch menu. See you bright and early tomorrow morning.
Park Zoo is temporarily closing some exhibits after a wild goose tested positive for bird flu. The zoo announcing on social media the precautionary steps after they found a dead wild goose on zoo grounds. The zoo says they are removing birds from some exhibits and temporarily closing the flamingo aviary. None of the other birds at the zoo have tested positive. Right now there is no date on when the exhibits will reopen. Greene County Sheriff Jim Arnott is excited about the progress being made at the Jim C. Arnott Training Complex being built in Stratford. It's part of an effort from Sheriff Arnott's distinguished posse group of local leaders and investors. He says the Greene County Sheriff's Office will be signing a long-term lease for the range, but it will also be open to other law enforcement agencies and groups.
We're open to any law enforcement agency utilizing. In fact, we have several that are for sure going to use it. We're open to anybody to use it. No, we don't want to make any money off of it. That's not what it's for.
The complex will be owned by a local nonprofit and be used for firearms, classrooms, and scenario-based trainings. Give blood, save lives, and have fun. Community Blood Center of the Ozarks hosting a blood drive and offering donors a nice incentive. CBCO is the sole supplier of donated blood, platelets, and plasma to multiple facilities across the region. As a thank you to their donors, they're offering an adventure pass to the Discovery Center in Springfield. the Scott Family Museum in Bentonville, Ripley's Believe It or Not in Branson, and Turpentine Creek Wildlife Refuge in Eureka Springs. Successful donors will get 2 free admission passes to all 4 of those attractions. The blood drive is taking place April 18th from noon to 6 at the Ozarks Healthcare Parkway Center in West Plains. Walk-ins are welcome, but appointments can be made online. A live look over Darlington Raceway in South Carolina. NASCAR gearing up for another weekend as the track there celebrates its 75th anniversary. Saturday afternoon, the Xfinity Series will take on the raceway. Coverage there begins at 2 o'clock only on the CW.
Coming up in sports, keeping an eye on the sky.
Swing and a drive. Herrera admires another one. Off the facade of Big Mac Land.
We'll talk about Ivan Herrera as well in sports.
Swing and a drive. Herrera admires another one. Off the facade of Big Mac Land.
Ivan Herrera makes history for the Cardinals yesterday. We'll talk big league birds in just a second. But first, the Springfield Cardinals are scheduled to open the 2025 Texas League baseball season tomorrow night against Wichita. The question is, will Mother Nature let the AA season begin? Rain and possible thunderstorms in the forecast. The Springfield Cardinals have been in town since Sunday. They're getting ready for the season. They're supposed to play the first of a 3-game homestand against the Wind Surge. Springfield general manager Dan Ryder is an old hand at dealing with the weather. He says that the team has been having internal discussions on possible changes to the plan, but as of now, the game is on for 6:30. On opening day 2021, Ivan Herrera was the starting catcher for Springfield. Yesterday, Herrera was the catcher in St. Louis and made Cardinal history. Herrera hit 3 home runs in the Cardinals' 12-5 win over the Los Angeles Angels. The team has today off before starting a 6-game road trip in Boston tomorrow. 24-year-old from Panama became the first catcher in the 144-year history of the franchise to hit 3 home runs in 1 game.
It's a great moment for my career, man. I've been feeling really good at the plate. Hopefully we can keep this going, man. But we always fighting. You know, we came back, and I love this team, man. I think we got great players here, and we're always gonna compete. That we're never gonna give up. I believe in every guy here, man.
St. Louis Blues were skating for their 11th straight victory against Pittsburgh tonight. 2-1 Penguins, second period when Pavel Buchnevich would capitalize on a turnover, 1-on-1, and he wins. It's 2-2. Then minutes later, the long pass to Jordan Kyrou. He controls the puck and then fires it in, and it was a 3-2 St. Louis lead. But the Penguins would tie it up at 4 and then send it into overtime. But in the OT, Robert Thomas would score. The Blues tie a franchise record with their 11th consecutive win, 5-4. Missouri State football will have a brand new field this fall. The Bears have unveiled their new look for Plaster Stadium this upcoming season. Not only is Mo State moving up to FBS football, they're also changing conferences, and with all the changes comes a new playing surface at Plaster Stadium. Starting on Monday, the university will tear up the old artificial turf and install this new $1.8 million Pivot Performance turf, the design featuring the script Mo State logo in the end zone and a Bearhead logo over the state of Missouri at midfield. It's going to wrap it up for sports. Steve in the news. We'll be right back.
Ozarks First Storm Tracker, taking you closer to severe weather than we've ever seen in the Ozarks.
A lioness recently gave birth to just 1 cub at an open-range zoo in Australia. The lion was born after a 3-month pregnancy for the first-time mother. Keep in mind, lions can have an average of 4 to 6 cubs per litter, so this is unusual. The zoo says this is the first single cub litter they've seen in 41 years. All right, let's update our results from the question of the day. Do you like Dan Lucy's tie? No, that wasn't it. That's tomorrow's question. Have you filed your taxes yet?
It'll be a different tie tomorrow. Now I'm confused.
There may not be any tie tomorrow. It's Friday, right?
I've lost control here. It's my fault. 62%. We've had another couple of votes come in since we gave you the first look at this about 15 minutes ago. 62% saying, yes, I've beaten the deadline with 12 days to spare. Good for you. 38%. I actually know because
Overachievers,
my
right?
guy is waiting. I'm waiting on my guy to finish the tax return.
That sounds like something somebody else. Yeah, I'm waiting on my guy. It's the guy's fault.
The IRS has ever said, okay, that's good. We'll stamp that one. That's
My
okay.
guy's fault.
It's a good excuse. His
Yeah.
guy didn't do it.
My gal's got it done.
What do you?
That's your wife?
I'm done. No.
Oh, you mean another guy? I thought
I'm
meant
telling-
maybe you meant your wife.
Springfield Cardinals.
Dina Parsnick?
Springfield Cardinals is trying to play tomorrow.
Yeah, this will be their 20th season opener. They've never had a rain out yet.
Fingers crossed. Thanks for joining us. We'll see you tomorrow.